Hi, today our topic is blockchain technology. So we were going to talk about what it is and how does it work and what are its usage. Uh, so let's discuss blockchain technology. It is an emerging technology. For this reason, I always, when I talk about blockchain technology, I say these are like new kids on the block. So, a lot of people don't know about blockchain technology, what it is. So, I try to put together some information. So, these are very basic information. So, everyone should know what, when we are talking about blockchain technology, what it is. As its name suggests, blockchain is the data organized or stored in packages known as the block, and the blocks are chained together to become blockchain. The blocks in the chain cannot be edited as the blockchain technology allows only the addition of more blocks of the data. So basically these are the or data which is organized and stored in shape of some packages which we call blocks, and they're chained together becoming a blockchain. These blocks or packages cannot be edited, or you cannot do any change to that, and everyone can see that. And just if you want to change this data, you have to add another block to show that change. So by this it increases the visibility and transparency and the credibility of the data. So this is called blockchain. You can see in the picture that they are the blocks of the data and then they are chained together. So this will look like blocks are chained together. For this reason we say them blockchain. As we have talked about in the previous slide about the data which is organized and stored in the packages known as the blocks. Basically, these blocks are digital distributed ledgers which is chained by a network of multiple computing machines or computer or different devices. These store data in form of blocks that are cryptographically secured and immutable. So these all data is cryptographed and secured, and you cannot make any changes to that. This is the basic uh, characteristics of blockchain, that it will uh, it will give the transaction more credibility and transparency. So as we talk about the distributed ledgers, uh, let's see what the ledger is. For this we have to go back and remember our accounting class, that what the ledger is. It is a principal book or a computer file for recording or totaling economic transactions measured in terms of a monetary unit of account by account types, which debit or credits in separate columns, and a beginning monetary balance and ending monetary balance for each account. So this is ledger is that we keep the record of our transactions starting and for a particular period, starting with the balance and then ending balance. So we record our debit transactions and also credit transactions. So basically a book for the recording of transaction. So this is called a ledger. So what is distributed ledgers are? Now we know that what the ledgers are. Initially, let's see what the distributed ledgers are, which are connected to different computer devices by the nodes, which appears as block with different parties which are involved in the system. If you see the picture, it shows you the one block, and all the parties which are involved in the system can see the these ledgers, because everyone has that a duplicate of a replica of that copy. So this transaction become more transparent, so everyone can see what is going on in that particular system. Uh, in this slide, you can see that a pictorial presentation of these distributed ledgers. So basically all attached blocks are is equal to a blockchain. So this is a ledger where any transaction supported by the decentralized network from across many locations and people with no need for a central authority. This is another feature of blockchain, is that it is decentralized. There is no central authority. So blockchain is distributed ledger database. It stores each transaction in a block. Blocks are attached in a chronological order. So it is like as the transaction happens, it is added to the chain. So it become a blockchain. So this I put a slide to show the difference between the traditional ledger book and the distributed ledgers which we use in the blockchain. So in traditional we keep doing the transaction on the same page, and but in the distributed ledgers, any transaction we do is become a block, and then we cannot go back and change or make any change. If we want to make a change, we have to create another transaction, and all the parties who are involved in that can see that transactions, because they have everyone has the copy of that in their system or in their computer. Since these distributed ledgers are shared by all the parties, sometimes they call it shared ledgers. So a distributed ledger or a shared ledger is a consensus of shared, synchronized or replicated data, and digital data. This data exists across multiple sites, institutions or country. With shared ledgers, there is no centralized data storage or central administrator, like I have already explained to you. And I put this picture again so you can see that there's no central point. Everyone is involved in that. It is a kind of decentralized, and everyone has the same kind of information, and if someone is changing any information, everyone knows what is changing. So, and it is changing with the consensus of everyone. How does a blockchain work? uh, Number one step, if A wants to send money to B, number two step, the transaction is represented online as a block. So one transaction from A to B is like one block. The block is broadcast to every party in the network. Like I explained to you, it will be create the copies for everyone who is in that same network. Those in the network approve the transaction is valid. So for example, if A want to give to money B through bank, so bank will verify that this person has the money in the bank or somewhere. So those in the network approve the transaction is valid. The block then be added to the chain, which provides an reliable and transparent record of the transactions, and then money moves from A to B. So basically from A to B is all part, everyone knows that what is going on, and it's become a very transparent and valid transactions, and it helps to increase the transaction and just increasing the trust among the different parties. Like I explained in the previous slides or parts, that it, it, it has some unique feature. Number one is that it is decentralized documents or data. So there's data is not sitting on one place, it is sitting with everyone. There's no third party involved, everyone is dealing directly, and transparency with the square identity, and then not susceptible to change because it is very immutable. So no one can change it, change the transaction and make forgery or making it. No one can tamper with the all these transactions. So this is the hallmark of this blockchain, that no centralized things, no third party, everything is transparent with the secure identity, that you have very secure identity. No one can see your identity, but you can see the transactions. And then immutability is mean no one can tamper with this information. If someone wants to tamper it, everyone knows that what is going on. So let's see that what is the difference between the current server network and the blockchain network. So if you see the network on your left hand side of the both pictures, that is uh, the network. In the traditional or in the current network server, there is a centralized server, and we are all getting the information around that. But in blockchain network, there is no centralization. Everyone is connected with each other, and data is decentralized, and everyone has the access to everyone other's data. Then uh, flow of information is like from information data to personal computer or phone. So there's a third party involved in that, but here there is no third party involved. So then data is stored in a single server, whereas in the blockchain data is not stored in the single server, that it is decentralized. End user or set of end users connected to this server can access to this data. So everyone who is connected with that data, sorry, with that server, can have the access to the data. But here data is stored by a server, maybe millions of computers linked together in blockchain network. So, and then single server, and data if access can be easily modified, tampered in this server. Uh, Single server is prone hacking, thus paralyzing the whole system. But since here all the data is cryptographically stored inside the blockchain, and no one can hack it, or no one can tamper with that or change or make the changes. So these are the basic difference between current server network and the blockchain network. So this was a simple presentation about the blockchain technology and its network and how does it work. And please, if you have any question, let me know. So I will be glad to answer those questions in my future presentation. Thank you very much for your time, and you're welcome.